The reason why...
Yeah, we might go live na, ha?
Okay.
It's preparing. It's preparing. What's that? I thought that was a lollipop.
Meeting is now streaming on Facebook Live.
Yes. Are we live?
Yes, we are, I think.
We are live. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Woman Up!
Time.
Yes, kauban nato atong kinakusgang DJ sa Cebu, si DJ Jacky.
Hi everybody, happy Thursday. Kamusta man tanan? I hope you're all doing awesome. Bisag busy, bisag dili, as long as you're live here with us. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Salamat.
Gimingaw ko ni mo yot.
Last week, diba? So everyone was busy. Everybody had their own thing. So at last, nakabalik ta this week. But we miss the two ladies who are always with us. But syempre, naamantay laing kauban karon.
Yes, we have our special guest. Syempre, we can't have our two ladies with us. So we have our graphics guy, you know, ang kinakusgang graphics guy sa Tinig na Marino DGTV, si Osman Sardouk.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Thank you for having me again. Woman up!
And ang CEO of CF Sharp Crew Management, si Mr. Miguel Rocha.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Miguel. Welcome.
Kamusta? I'm sure busy po kadiha yot. You're so busy.
Yes, very, very busy. But here in Cebu, medyo happy to report that the quarantine protocols have eased up a bit. People are starting to be able to get out more. But of course, still safety first. But the COVID cases have gone down. And that is a very, very good thing. We're just hoping and praying that there won't be a second wave. Because, you know, sometimes it happens that when people start going out, when people think that everything's starting to be okay, that's when things are not okay again. So because people tend to think that, maybe we're already immune to this thing since we can already go out. But it's not the case. The quarantine protocols are eased up a bit because we need it for our economy to get back on its feet. But the virus is still very much alive, so we should still all be very, very careful. That's what's the latest from Cebu. How's Manila?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Last week, I had to go to the ER. I had a really bad allergic reaction to something. As in, on the way to the hospital, I was like getting already stressed because I thought I was gonna die. It's like, you know, my throat was already starting to itch, and I had a bad experience before where my throat constricted and I couldn't breathe because of allergy. So I was stuck in traffic, and we were in the service road. And it was just really like, it was scary because it was like the traffic was so bad. And I was like, oh, you know, it was, I felt horrible because I had rashes all over. And then when I got to the hospital, it was actually surprisingly very empty.
Wow.
I was alone. I was alone at the hallway. And the doctors and the nurses that I talked to actually told me that it seems like we're on the way. If we haven't flattened the curve, we're on the way to flattening the curve already. So I think that's a bit of good news.
That's good news, except for your allergy. What triggered your allergy?
You know, it could be a lot of things because I've been eating a lot. I've been eating a lot,
period.
Period. There we go.
sanitizing and like I've been doing some product
oils.
Yeah, doing some product research, you know, so yeah.
I like that kind of research. You get to taste stuff and research that way.
And I was like showing like product for Mercado one, so you know, I get to spray and like use the price. I don't know, maybe one of them. I don't know.
But you're all better now.
Yeah. I'm a lot better now.
That's good. That's good.
Actually, news over here. What happened? Like a few weeks ago, my friends in Makati were saying that it's mandatory to wear face mask and face shield. I didn't expect it to be also in Taguig. So when I just went recently to Taguig, they're actually enforcing to wear face mask and face shield, not just face mask anymore. And I'm expecting maybe in the future we'll be having to wear gloves and then full PPE, protective gears to ensure nothing's being spread. Man.
You haven't been going out, Osman?
Just to go grocery shopping. That's it. That's the only form of the only way I leave the house. But yeah. What you guys? Anyway, yeah, you went to your motorcycle trip.
Oh, we had a really nice motorcycle ride this morning.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to Lake Taal and then Tagaytay.
Wow.
Wow. How long is that?
Oh, maybe about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Hmm.
Okay.
Fun.
Hey, anyway, to our viewers, if you want to join our conversation, you can actually message us on Tinig ng Marino DGTV, and then we'll give you the Zoom link.
Yes, please join us.
Want to know about your day-to-day or your week or your month, your cool quarantine experience?
Over the weekend, we actually tried to go on a staycation. So we tried going, since resorts are like 50% off lately,
Oh, wow.
50 to 70% off, because there's no business, there's no tourists. So they give this special discounts to Filipinos, to those who are residents of Cebu. And if the resort is in Cebu, they give special discounts to those who are residents here. So we had a fun time, and it was, I think they only opened like 30% of their rooms to the public. So you have to go book early in advance for you to get that very special rate. And it was a really nice resort in Lapu-Lapu where they allow pets. So it's also pet friendly. So we got to bring our fur babies with us. It was their first time in a resort. It was so much fun. A lot of fun.
Was it like did you feel extra special because it's like the first time in like a long time?
Oh yes, it was a very different experience, because there's a lot of times we keep on looking at, just on Facebook, nice places to see, wish we could go there, wish we could be there right now. But finally we were able to get to do it. And all of us, wherever we may be in the Philippines, we don't really need to look far or to go very far to go experience the nice places, because we have a lot to offer. Diba? Piliin mo ang Pilipinas. Let's not be, dati, wag maging dayuhan sa sariling bayan. So it's a nice thing to do to help the economy, of course, and to experience and have fun with what we can do and what we have right here and right now. Saka na lang yung mga travels abroad, saka na lang yung mga things to do that we can't do yet now. But slowly we're getting there, and I think I've seen a little glimmer now of light at the end of the tunnel. I think I'm hoping and praying that we can get there by Christmas. 2020.
Hopefully, yeah. Yes, 2020, of course. Not next year, yeah. That's too long.
How about Miguel, the shipping maritime? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we have with the country opening up and loosening of restrictions, especially having to do with domestic travel and transportation, from domestic airfare, airplane travel, ferry travel, and buses. It's making it a lot easier for people to move within the country, especially in our business with seafarers. We have been deploying crew changes already for several months now. And It's interesting because obviously it's very challenging to get people from the provinces to Manila, have them be processed and then tested so that they're not only passing their pre-employment medical exam, normal examinations, but also that they're COVID-free. And we're doing about 500 more deployments every month now. And surprisingly, the number of crew that are testing positive for COVID we're finding it to be less than 10%. So less than 10% of the people who are coming to Manila trying to join the ship are being tested positive with COVID. So another thing that's encouraging is these crew are having to travel all around the world, taking multiple flights. In some cases,
Right.
they're traveling for more than 24 hours and have to stop. Sometimes they make 3 or 4 different flights to get where they're going. And, we would think that that's a very risky type of thing to do, to travel by air. But the number of crew who actually reach the ship, it's really more than 95%. We've only had a very few cases of crew who have contracted or tested positive once they reach their destination. So to me, it's nice to have some real experience and real numbers to look at to see what is our experience and our snapshot of the population. That the number of infections and the number of cases doesn't seem to be so severe.
Which is good, right? I mean,
yeah. No, I mean it's great. It's really very important. I mean, obviously, this is a problem that's going on beyond the Philippines. It's going on all around the world. And for us in the maritime industry and the seafaring industry, this time of challenge is where things can change. When there's an incident or something that's going on that changes the normal, we have opportunities to actually to make change. And one of those things that we can really do if we continue to work with the government, have the government cooperate, have the private sector and the stakeholders cooperate. There's a lot we can do to continue to solidify the Philippines' market position in the international seafaring market. Right now, we have about 25% of all of the international crew come from the Philippines.
That's a lot.
It is, and it's something that also can be risked. If we don't get our act together as a country, if we don't cooperate with the government agencies, and if we don't do all the things that are necessary to foster a healthy industry, this also could be a time of danger where companies will choose to employ other nationalities other than Filipinos. So it's a critical time. I believe that I'm seeing a lot of commitment on the part of the ship owners to the Philippines to continue to hire Filipinos for their ships. But there is a tremendous amount of growing frustration with the difficulty that they're experiencing and having to get people out of the country and joining the ships.
Yeah, which is, well, it's a lot, but it used to be more. And we hope that it will be better again. Maybe not like
Miguel, from pre-COVID, how much has it affected the shipping industry, the maritime industry, from when COVID hit at its worst?
Well, there's two aspects of that. Number one, the Philippines has a very, very large percentage of the hospitality crew that sail aboard cruise ships and passenger lines. So that has been particularly devastated. It's estimated that probably as many as close to 100,000 hospitality crew have been repatriated because the cruise ships are not they're not operating. They're just being laid up right now and waiting for the opportunity to restart. So in that regard, a lot of Filipino seafarers have been repatriated, I would say, and have lost the ability to earn. So that's the passenger side. On the conventional side, all the cargo ships, the container ships, the oil tankers, the bulk carriers, there's been a different kind of problem, especially early on in the pandemic time in the March, April, and May. It was virtually impossible to be able to get people on and off the ships. And so what happened was there built up a bottleneck, and a humanitarian crisis was developing with crew who are basically stranded on board their ships without any ability to come home. Either the ports of call where the ships were going were not allowing crew changes because of their own quarantine restrictions. International air travel was really greatly reduced. The number of international flights during those times was next to nothing. And so you literally had seafarers who were long overdue to come home, who were staying on the ships far longer than any of the international guidelines and restrictions would allow. So that, of course, is a mental health and safety issue. Fortunately, come June and July and now in August, we've been able to start the business of replacing all of those stranded crew with fresh crew from home. So in that regard, I think we've made a tremendous amount of progress in alleviating the bottleneck of long overdue crew change. We'll still have to wait, though, for the passenger segment to start. Right now, the cruise lines that we work with, which is Norwegian Cruise Holdings Group, are anticipating that they might actually start to resume some of their cruising as early as end of October 2020.
That's very good news.
That's great news, actually. Wow.
News.
That's very soon, actually, yeah.
IT guy, Mr. Wendell Daguno.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
Oh, Wendell. It's
Wendell,
okay.
you're like Superman. You just went inside the phone booth and then you changed. Like
Yeah,
in,
transformed. We don't know who you were. Yes.
We are still on MECQ, and surprisingly, even though we say that we are on quarantine, we already have a lot of traffic. The only ones, the only ones that's missing, the jeepneys, the public utility
Oh,
vehicles.
yeah.
There's a lot of
but
people out there already. It's crazy.
same here.
Hope you guys are all safe.
I don't
We
really
are.
Yes.
For now.
now.
As of now. As of this moment,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
Wendell, have you been getting a lot of sleep lately?
Well, define sleep. Is that something that you can eat? Ay, naka.
Every time there's a new father, it's like, oh, are you getting good sleep?
That is always the parenting. That's what I was hear from new
Us one
parents.
day.
Huh?
You'll know what it means one day.
I know. No, I had my friend, my best friend who got married, and he warned me. He gave me warnings, like, yeah, it's really hectic once you're a new parent. Yes.
So Wendell,
I'm
how
just enjoying the new.
so we're talking about the quarantine and how like the past weeks, how it's affected us. You have a very interesting experience.
Definitely. Yeah, I had a bout with COVID-19. Very it was we had a challenging month of August, guys. So if I can just share to the people that are watching right now. So just to give perspective, my wife's pregnant on her fourth baby, and she was about to give birth. When we both tested positive for COVID-19. So imagine the panic. The panic that we had sa household. We have 3 kids, all are, I think, considered high risk, di ba? Yung 3 kids. And then I have my mother-in-law with me sa bahay din. So who's a senior citizen, so another high risk. And then I have a pregnant wife who's also high risk. And then when we had our swab, because I'm already experiencing symptoms, una nun parang regular cough and colds lang. So we decided now we do the swab testing because it's also required for my wife to do the swab before she gives birth. And for whatever reason, we both tested positive. So we were like, wow, how did we end up getting the virus? In fact, that the 2 weeks before we even tested positive, we were very strict with our ang tawag doon, hygiene or protection. Every time that we go home, we sanitize. Kulang na lang, inumin namin yung Lysol at saka yung alcohol talaga. Kumbaga, I mean, seriously guys, kung pagdating sa sanitation ng alcohol, both external and internal, I'm taking alcohol. Halos every other day. Oh, di ba? So there's no way. I was like 100% confident. There's no way that the virus would end up getting into our home. And then on that day, siguro around August, I think August 10 when we had it tested. We got the result 3 days later that we're both positive. But my wife isn't experiencing any symptoms. No, wala. Siguro minor colds lang. Ako meron matindi.
What about the kids?
And then I started.
Wendell?
Sorry, what was that, Miguel?
Did the kids get sick? Did any of the kids have symptoms?
Yeah. Yep. So hold on a sec.
What happened? I think Wendell got disconnected.
And he froze.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he's back.
And he froze, yes.
No.
Wendell, you're back?
There you go. I'm back. Sorry, guys. Third world problems, internet. So yun nga, no? So the first one that got out was my sense of smell. Nawala yung pang-amoy ko. And then after that, I lost my sense of taste. And then when I lost my sense of taste, nawalan ako ng ganang kumain. I lost my appetite. And then I think there were like a couple of days that I wasn't really in a mood to eat. And for me, eating is like my hobby. I mean, it's not even my hobby. Eating is like my air. I do that every time. You ask the two guys that I'm here, like Arianne and Osman, all we do is eat when we're together. So
Yeah, I know.
an appetite, me losing an appetite, that was like probably another dimension. No? So when I lost my appetite and then I got fever, and then when I had fever, I started experiencing difficulty in breathing. It was tough. It was tough kasi I had to isolate myself dito sa space na to. My wife is there. She's also positive. She had to isolate herself. Our kids are dependent on her. And she's pregnant. So there was really a lot of panic. We're really grateful to a lot of friends who prayed for us and anong tawag dito, helped us find contingencies. Actually, ang pinaka-concern namin is with how she gives birth with COVID. But by God's grace, we were, she tested negative on the day itself that she was about to give birth.
Wow.
But the battle was really real, guys. Alam mo, to be honest, I thought COVID-19 was just an agenda or a propaganda. It wasn't even real until you get hit with one. And I had like yung experience was crazy. 80%, my body was only accepting 80% of oxygen. Imagine that. Breathing in, but felt like no air is getting in.
Wow. That must be scary.
It's scary. My doctor said, fortunate daw that I do my sports because my body adapts to unregulated breathing. and that I don't have any medical pre-existing medical condition. If I
Right,
had,
right.
it would have been like really fatal. Kasi I have a friend that had the same symptoms, same respiratory symptoms, had 63% of his body accepting only 63% ng oxygen. He was in ICU for 3 weeks.
Hmm.
And I was 80% at 80%. So 17 na guhit na lang nasa ICU na, tumambay na ako sa ICU. And you know what, the scary part is not actually the bout with the whole virus. It's the bill that's gonna kill you. It's like millions.
Isolation.
Yeah, and the isolation, of course.
Yeah. Wendell, speaking of the bill, I'm really confused. Is it free when you get COVID? Is it like 50%? How much does the government actually pay for when you get sick with COVID?
I think it really depends if you contribute. Like, let's say, meron yan PhilHealth, right? You have
Yeah.
PhilHealth, you get PhilHealth discounts if you remember. But I think other than that, what also gets applied? Yeah,
Hey, guys.
PhilHealth, those are the ones that only get applied. And you get a good discount, I think. You get quite a good amount. But then again, if let's say your bill is in millions and you only get like 100,000 discount, that's still gonna end you set you back at 900,000. So malaki pa rin, di ba?
Ouch.
Parang ka nang bumili ng bahay in some remote province. 900K, a million. 1.8. Like, depende yan sa category. There's a category kasi of mild, moderate, and severe. I think
I
the
see.
severe ones, those are the ones that really, that's really
Konta lang.
yeah.
But what you went through doesn't seem like it was mild. It was more a little bit
Moderate.
near the.
Moderate.
Yeah, I was on moderate because I needed oxygen.
Congratulations to you and your wife and your whole family, all healthy.
Oh.
Iba. Fighter.
With a new baby.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the new baby, COVID-free. The new baby was COVID-free, guys. Thank you for all your prayers. And to those that supported us during the pandemic. During what we went through last month. We're really, really grateful.
Hey, Miguel, there's a question for you from Joselito Pitogo. When the crew for passenger ships is ready to work back again, what assurance they will not be affected by COVID-19? And if it is safe to stay on board without worry and to have shore leave to buy their necessities? What would be the...
I think that there are no guarantees that COVID is not going to have some effect. I think what the crew should be doing now is ensuring, number one, that any of their documentation which needs to be renewed is renewed so that they are as travel ready as can be, number one. And always they should be minding their health. Obviously the part of the deployment process is passing a pre-employment medical examination. So now the added COVID testing is the issue. And so what we're recommending is that any of the crew who are hoping to go back on board, that they take extra precaution to make sure that they socially distance themselves, isolate themselves as much as possible, avoid going out and doing the high-risk activities if they can. Because if they contract COVID, that could really jeopardize their opportunity to rejoin the vessels. As far as what the protocols on board will be and how shore leave and other matters would be handled, that's something that we can't predict right now. This is something that I'm sure all of the passenger lines are working on, how to establish new safety protocols for cruising, not just for the crew, but for the passengers as well. It's going to be very important for people to have a high level of confidence that going back on board a cruise ship is going to be something that's not going to put anybody at greater risk or jeopardy of contracting the coronavirus. So the answer is we don't know yet what the protocols will be on board, but I rest assured, whatever they are, they will take into consideration the health and safety of all the people on board, crew and passengers alike. So if you're a crew waiting for your lineup to go back once cruising resumes, do yourself a favor and make sure to mind your health. Make sure to quarantine yourself and keep yourself away from exposure to other people, because it's not just the risk of getting sick, it's also the risk of being able to continue to work and provide for your families. Thank you for the question.
And to add to that, I think nobody can really give an assurance. I mean, even with Wendell, he didn't have to go to a vessel. Nobody can give that assurance. I think it's like a team effort. I mean, for the crew, it's always, I think each individual will have to take responsibility for their part, how they sanitize their hygiene, if they observe social distancing. I think it's also the responsibility of the individuals.
Well, there's a lot of protocols already in existence here domestically in the Philippines and internationally, which govern the safe way to travel and move about, whether within the country or internationally. It has to do with maintaining social distancing, wearing and maintaining the proper personal protective equipment. And what we've been able to see is that when people follow these protocols and they follow the directions, they can actually travel from the province to Manila, move about, test negative, and be able to travel around the world and join the ships. With a high degree of success. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of infections relative to the total number of people we're deploying. So that tells me that the protocols have been designed in a way that they actually do work, and they have minimized, if they're followed, they minimize your chances of being exposed and contracting the virus.
Wendell, I think this is for you. Do you believe?
Do you believe what? Yeah, of course.
Because it became a huge business. I'm sure if someone here believes COVID-19 exists, it would be Wendell.
COVID exists so that it can become a business. Was that a question? Yung parang well, we have to look at it this way, di ba?
It became
all the mask people now that are making millions.
Right. This one, and then these ones, they boomed. I think you have to look at it based on the industry that you're in. There's a lot of businesses that were greatly affected. Sadly, some of them did not survive the last 5 months. They shut down. We've seen big brands shutting down, global brands, di ba? I mean, for example, Airbnb, sabi nila, it took them 12 years to establish their brand, but only took like 3 months of pandemic to shut them down. But then again, there are also other businesses that took the opportunity to, step up, and then others used COVID-19 then to become like anong tawag doon, parang stepping stone for their businesses and all that. So they re-strategized and all that stuff. So I think depends on your perspective talaga. I mean, some
right. You know those air purifier necklaces, those little thingies that people wear. Do they actually work or?
Question. Expensive, huh?
How can you purify the air with a little thing like that? And then I really don't understand, but
yeah, but maybe. Science nga daw, di ba? Science yun, DJ Jack.
Science.
Scientifically proven now. Oh.
I think if people believe that their air is purified, then maybe there's a placebo effect. They believe clean air,
Maybe.
they'll feel better about themselves.
Right. Protect themselves. People like just do anything and everything to protect themselves. Like the multivitamin industry is also thriving now because
Yeah.
people who don't really take vitamins before are now like guzzling in all kinds of vitamins, the green stuff, all those healthy shakes.
Actually, I noticed during the pandemic, I've seen a lot of ads. If you scroll through social media about
Right, right.
vitamins, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I think that's one of the things that got me is a allergy. I was drinking wheatgrass. Apparently, I could be allergic to that. That's really one of the, because they say it boosts the immune system. Apparently,
Yes.
it also boosted my allergies. And then icy with Lysol and alcohol. So
Yan, mga alcohol ngayon, galon-galon na, di ba? Pag binenta, galon-galon.
Actually, this is me in the supermarket. I touch something, I spray my hand. Touch anything, spray my hand. It's like I became an OC. It's so weird. It's not normal at all. You're not used to every time you touch anything, even if I touch myself outside, I'm like washing my hands with alcohol. That's the mist. That's the alcoholic mist. Yeah. Yeah, I have that. They're saying that
no.
that's water, or okay? Because I have one in the house which we put alcohol to mystify money, just so that we don't destroy it with alcohol. Yeah.
Lysol. Diba Lysol? Lysol is...
Yeah, Lysol.
Hindi na ako
I spray my shoes. Yeah.
perfume now.
Hihilo ka rin eh.
makakahilo din siya, diba?
So,
True.
yun na yung perfume ko ngayon Lysol If I have to choose between the perfume bottle or the Lysol, I'll pick the Lysol and then
Yourself.
Parang hindi mo naisip na nakakatakot kasi diba chemicals pa rin yun. Baka naman next time yung
That's the
after
thing.
purge
You can't
naman
inhale that.
biscuit or something, diba? Parang masyado tayo
Yeah.
ini-intake. And it's not only COVID ngayon. Parang for this year, it's like really a lot of happenings. Like you saw kanina sa newsfeed, you saw yung sky sa San Francisco?
Right.
Orange, yeah. Orange sky because of the fires. That's
This
just
year
insane.
is so weird, diba? Fires, earthquakes, death.
personalities.
War. What's happening this year?
Oh my.
I don't know. It's like a never-ending cycle, or maybe it's more hyped up because we're stuck home. All these things were happening normally, but we were busy with our lives. But now, we have our free time to just watch it. So
Yes, we're
Yeah.
all hyper focused on what's happening.
yeah, now it's like
Try to remember your December 2019. All right, you had great plans.
we had a great New Year's
New Year's
party.
resolutions list,
Yes,
and you have these great wishes come New Year's Eve. Like, hey,
this is gonna be my year. This is my year.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody was saying 2020 was gonna be a really good year because diba, it's swerte daw 2020
Yeah.
baliktaran, diba? Look what
So-
You
happened.
saw that viral video? That
That's-
viral
that's
video
the
of the
name
guy
of
predicting
hula
about the monkeys and the
2020 daw will be an excellent year. I wonder what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, where are those yung mga manghuhula na nagsabi yun?
I know.
May
Oh
career
my God.
pa ba sila ngayon?
Just gonna.
Actually, the pandemic is like you can't really control it because you heard, right? I sent you guys the news recently about The Rock. Like, imagine he's been in quarantine and he only has contact with his close family members, and from them he contracted the virus. So
Yeah.
you can never be. I don't know. It's like you have to. For the seafarers, you really have to be isolated from everybody if you want to continue traveling. Yeah.
Osman,
We can only do so much. We can do a
Yeah.
lot from our end, but there's this thing called fate. Maybe
Mm.
if
Yes,
it wants
fate
you,
also
it
is-
wants you.
Yeah. That's true.
it's like this also now. On the other hand, I know this guy. I have a friend. He had COVID. He didn't feel it. It was asymptomatic. And his wife, who was sleeping beside him, also was negative. Didn't get it. And then the other guy, he had COVID, and his son, who was taking care of him, and his whole family didn't get it. So Maybe it's something in our genetics or our body system.
Maybe the husband and wife that didn't pass it weren't doing it right.
Like, I really think the virus is like they compare it to the flu. Like I'm sure there are people that can't be affected. It's like a really tiny percentage of people that can't be affected. Or maybe we don't see the big picture because we're only hearing about the amounts of people being infected. There are actually those who are immune. But very small and low cases. Yeah.
I mean, there's no
There
mask.
haven't been enough studies about it yet, so we don't
No,
really know
it's still a new thing.
half of it. So careful na lang talaga tayo.
Oh, guys.
That's all we can do. And
Ayun.
pray a lot.
Nag-alcohol kayo.
Alcohol ko yun.
Make sure your hands clean.
You know, it's like it's like a habit of everybody now. Reach for the alcohol.
Always reach for the alcohol. It was like before the COVID hit. Like I always used to see my friends who used to do that. But I'm like, nah, they're just too OC. But now it's like a normal thing. I'm like,
Right.
I'm part of you. I'm part of the same group. I'm washing my hands every 5 seconds. Yeah, with alcohol.
True.
You know, before you used to greet each other by shaking hands, you know. Now you greet each other by putting alcohol in each other's hands, you know. Here's some alcohol for your hands, you know.
There you go.
So I met with this friend of mine, like nag-shake hands kami. Forgot and he said he passed me the alcohol because we shook hands. So he passed me the alcohol after. It's like, okay, you know, it's different now. But you know, I'm still hoping na sa pagbabalik ni Jose Marichan, parang madala naman din niya yung mga good vibes ulit, di ba? Christmas, ano ang Christmas plans ninyo?
No.
No mass gathering. No mass gathering. Yeah.
Nothing to hear in the Philippines
No.
He's not having it.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Actually, I was thinking about it. Maybe our Christmas theme for this year should be Nightmare Before Christmas. With Jack Skellington, you know, near the door.
It's like a Halloween Christmas.
Already know.
Halloween Christmas.
You know, most people don't realize that Christmas carols were designed to be listened to once a year for only about 2 or 3 weeks. Period. That's what it's designed. When you listen to Christmas carols for 5 months, it doesn't work anymore.
Hey, but you know what makes them happy? You know, I mean, there are so many negative things in the world already. If, like, you know, having Christmas early and like listening to Jose Marichan would make them happy. I mean, you know,
Right.
Yes, my neighbor was already turning on her parol September 1st.
February pa na.
Kaloka. Kumukuti
That's what I love
na.
about the Philippines. They actually celebrate the Philippines. I mean, they celebrate Christmas so early. Like right now, I went usually to the grocery shop, and they're offering me to buy a Christmas tree. I'm like, wait, what month is it? Like, where will I keep it for? For how long will it be kept before I put it up?
Funny
Yeah.
part
But at
was
least things are starting to look up, and I think because from the way that all the sale stores online and on ground were going on sale yesterday, and websites crashing because of the many people who are availing of the discounts, the 9/9 sale. So I think people still have money, or are starting to have money already. So that's a good thing, I guess.
That's true. But remember, once the webinar we joined, the psychology of shopping, they say that a lot of people, actually many people were spending during the quarantine because psychologically it helps them parang feel like they still have control over something.
yeah.
They're ready, they can still plan something. So yeah, that could be, you know, part of it. So nice time to do some business.
Yes, exactly.
True.
Oh, speaking of that, selling.
Sanitizing for Christmas. Gawa tayong parole shape na purifier. Then you wear it like that. Because everywhere you go, may song ni no Semery Chan sa background. Whenever I see. Every time you spray your alcohol, whenever I see.
You can also hang those COVID balls, you know, the microscopic itsura ng COVID na minamagnify nila, the COVID balls. Hang it on your Christmas tree. It looks a lot different when you do the two hands. We're dominated by guys today, Arianne. We have three guys with us today.
It's my experience.
It's a condition. It's a condition. It's why 9 months from now there's going to be a whole new babies.
Yeah.
COVID balls.
Born out of COVID balls.
Really ballsy of you, Yota.
Just go. Okay.
We can organize when social distancing is off and things are back to normal. We could have a COVID ball.
Balls.
A COVID ball.
I wonder what
do
we'll be
that.
dressed up as. Yeah, we should do that celebration.
The children of the
Man will dance.
And everyone will be celebrating with Corona beer. That's gonna be amazing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the theme.
That's gonna be a theme. Yeah.
Yeah, Corona. Hey, you know, baka the children of mga years from now, the children will have ano diba yung game na pass the ball, pass the COVID, pass the COVID ball.
Pass the COVID. Pass the virus.
COVID.
It'll be interesting to see what will be the most popular names of those children.
Oh.
Poor kids.
I was convincing my wife not to change our daughter's name to something relative to COVID pandemic. She wouldn't have it. I was like trying to convince her, hey babe, can we just make it Covida? I think that's like amazing, right? Covida.
Or instead of Mulan, Wuhan.
Oh my God. You're terrible, Dad.
I wasn't with my wife when she gave birth. I was in quarantine, so she was in the hospital. And usually, sa past 3 kids namin, I'm the one processing the papers. So
The papers.
the papers for the birth certificate, right? So I reminded her, babe, I realized we have to change. I messaged her on Facebook. Hey, we have to change our daughter's name to something like Covida Brianna, because Kobe Bryant passed away this year, and then we had COVID-19, right? So I wanted to commemorate the experience through my daughter's name. So I told my wife, hey, let's change our daughter's name to Covida Brianna. I think it sounds sweet. She wouldn't have it, and then she told me that the moment that she knew I had something like that, she had someone go down and really officially make my daughter's name Arabella Kate. So she wouldn't really have me make that decision, at least for this week.
Wendell,
I'm sure she was happy you were not there. She didn't care you weren't there for the birth, but she was happy you were not there to name her daughter Covida.
will be calling Wendell. Wendell, can Wuhan have a play date with Covida? Play date with Covida. But grabe, I think this experience also showed us how we can really cope, and we can also be very resilient and start something new. We started this, we were able to start this and still have a sense of humor.
Pinoy power.
Actually,
Yeah.
out of my friends also, I've noticed they've all started doing their own business, because they've noticed, like, out of my friends who are working in, like, you can say, reliable industries, now when it hit, they noticed that it's not that as secure as a job
Right.
as they thought it was. So they're now doing their own businesses, which is actually really good. You have to
What
be
happened?
reliant on one thing only. Am I lagging? You have to be resilient in this time. So yeah. Sorry, was I lagging? Was my words being cut, or what's happening? Arianne, can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Okay.
Third world problems, man.
What happened? What happened? What came out of my? What was I saying in the? Like chopping the whole way. Oh man. Yeah. But the main thing is just to be resilient. That's the thing. Never be reliant on one thing only.
Yeah.
There's a doctor that there's a flight attendant that sells fish balls, right? There's
Yeah.
So there, you see other prestigious professionals really that were affected by the pandemic. Yung industry nila were greatly affected. They had to really improvise and work on something, and it just makes me impressed. No, actually, I have high respect to people like that. Wouldn't really mind. Hey, I was like a flight stewardess, and now I'm selling banana Q on the sidewalk for food, right? So, kudos to those people like that who really didn't give up and say, I got affected by the pandemic. It's okay for me to just lie and be a couch potato, watch Netflix all day. No, they came up with something, and now they're thriving. No, so I wish them success.
You can really see who are the survivors, no? Grabe yun, Hana, hanggang gaya na ako sa'yo. You can really see who the
Hindi ko
survivors are.
sinasadya. Si Miguel kasi.
Alam mo ba na the way that you do this depends on your force of habits. If you do this, you're used to small. If you do this,
Meaning. How big was it when you did that? I'm trying to remember.
Oh no.
So, back to the balls. But you guys, yes. Totoo. Di ba si Eric Fructoso, he's driving a tricycle ba yun? Di ba? Nakita ko sa Facebook yun.
Yeah.
So, yun. It doesn't matter really, no? If your job was like super prestigious before and then it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, so
And then now you sell stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. We all need to thrive and survive. So as long as it's not against the law, go ahead.
Yes.
Do your thing.
Shodi ka uwaw oy kay kitang tanan mga gutom. Sino na
Correct.
si Miguel smiling.
Maojod.
It's hard to see behind that beard.
Nila yun. Okay, so it's it's 5 o'clock. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Time flies like a basketball.
What happens when you let men infiltrate your woman show?
Exactly.
We had a ball.
This is a woman up show, and then we got like you guys are outnumbered by men.
Yeah, it
True.
also shows that we can still woman up even if we're outnumbered by men.
Yeah. No problem with that. You guys are in touch with your feminine sides, I think.
Thanks
Very
for guesting us.
You know something.
Of course.
When I was in some time ago, I was doing a stage production, and I was cast to play a female character.
Really?
Yeah, I was. And so in order to make my character believable, I had to really explore my feminine side, so that it could be a believable portrayal. And when I discovered my feminine side, I realized that my feminine side is actually lesbian.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wait,
far off as when you played the King of Hawaii. That was, no, I mean that wasn't as far-fetched. Like you're imagining your feminine side is not as far as like when you're being king.
But the King of Hawaii was not gay.
Yeah, but he was Hawaiian.
He's Hawaiian.
Maybe you should sing for us next time. We should have a Christmas carol on December.
Karaoke.
We should have a Christmas get together. You know.
Yeah, so get together. And we'll all be inside bubbles. We'll be in those giant bubble.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bring
And
your
just
own
roll with it.
Bring your own bubble. There you go.
We're like, yeah, bumping each other.
Zorb. Yeah, there you go. We're safe inside our bubbles. Physical bubbles.
Our literal bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because last January and February, I was always with Osman and Wendell. I thought that would be the whole year, right?
Yes. We were going around places doing a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden, no seeing each other because of COVID. There he goes.
So we haven't seen each other in person, no? So we
No.
haven't seen each other in person since February.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other in months.
But you and Osman, you guys have seen each other because you're close to each other. You guys are in the province, so it's easier for you guys to see each other. I mean, I'm somewhere in the.
Osman.
Huh?
I'm afraid of Osman.
Yes. Miguel is especially afraid of me. Is it because I'm Middle Eastern? Just kidding. Anywho, it was really nice having us guests in the show. Miguel, Arianne, thank you for having us. It was all of a sudden, out of nowhere, but it was fun joining the show.
I'm used to be in the background, so now I'm here with exposure. So
So you're exposing us to you.
I'm here with exposure, So for those fans that would like to, send me love mails, you can just send it directly to Tinig ng Marino DGTV.
Why not?
And then in return, I'll send you my 1x1 picture, full body.
Signed.
1x1 full body signed autograph.
Wow.
Signed autograph. Any message, guys, before we end? Any announcements?
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us in this super fun afternoon. We're not talking about beauty this afternoon, but we talked about a whole lot of stuff we wouldn't have talked about if it's just us girls. So thank you so much, Osman and Wendell, and of course, Miguel. Daghang salamat for your input in the maritime industry and what's going on. Ayan, puso. Daghan kaayong salamat. Till next Thursday, you guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for watching, guys. Osman, Wendell, do you have an announcement, Miguel?
No, just thank you for having me on the show. It's been fun to be here. It's nice to be part of the show than just watching it, and very, very proud of what you're doing here.
Thank you, Osman, Wendell.
Same here. Thank you for having us. It was a fun afternoon, and hopefully we'll see each other soon. Not next year. Christmas is near, so yeah.
It's just around the corner.
Around the corner, there you go.
Actually, I miss the anxiety attacks I get when Osman drives the car.
Miguel drives he's more aggressive. I'm more timid compared to Miguel. Miguel's like on a whole another level of speed.
Yeah, but where I almost died.
Yeah.
I'm the most stable driver.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and see you again on Thursday, 2 p.m. For Women at Bisdak. And on Tuesday, don't forget to watch Kapihang Marinero with our veteranong mga marinero. See you again soon, and thank you. Bye!
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Stay safe, sanitize, use alcohol externally and internally.